Today we are all talking about artificial intelligence or AI, or to be more specific, generative AI. And even though it's a bustling word and it has really gained a lot of momentum recently, but I would like us to talk about the technology behind AI or what actually made it possible for artificial intelligence, to artificial intelligence to really gain the momentum we see today. Okay. So, for those of you who don't understand or who don't have a basic understanding of artificial intelligence, normally artificial intelligence is just it's just like I'll put it like trying to make machines to replicate what humans are trying to do. Okay. For example, the most common example is using the ChatGPT tool, right? So ChatGPT tool, what normally a human will have supposed to do for you. Let's say, for example, you have a secretary, and the secretary was supposed to maybe edit your text, or maybe write an email for you, or maybe read a text and make some few corrections. Now with the presence of that tool, you don't need a secretary. You can actually write an email or even ask the ChatGPT tool in order to craft an email for you, and you just edit, or the other way around. You can draft an email and ask the tool to maybe correct certain phrases for you. So that is what artificial intelligence is all about, just trying to mimic or replicate what humans are capable of doing. But I would like to emphasize that it's not there to totally replace what humans can do, because there's a certain level of intelligence that humans have that these machines do not have. So today it's not about going deep into artificial intelligence or maybe generative AI. It's all about talking about the technology behind the scene, the technology that made it possible for us to be able to offer artificial intelligence or generative AI to have gained such momentum. And that technology is cloud technology. Some of you might have heard of it, and I'm certain that most of you are using it. Maybe you don't know, but actually you're using this technology called cloud technology. I'll explain this concept by taking you back in the days where, let's say if you around the year 2000s, we had this. If you had a computer back then, for you to be able to transfer a file from one computer to another, you need a floppy disk, right? It was something of a funny shape with a disk, something like that. So you needed a floppy. I hope this is spelling. You need a floppy disk. Now this was the storage device back then. Okay. Then we now, I don't know exactly when, but we moved to what is to a flash drive. So we had something like this, where you could transfer movies and whatever, depending on the size, right? So before, you probably had like 256 megabytes. Okay, that was like so much space back then. Then we started seeing people 2 gig. Then we started seeing 10 gigabytes. Also, there was a move towards having a flash drive. So this was, you could call it a flash. Okay, we started having hard drives, not the hard drives in your computer, but something movable which you can place more music. So this could go up to like 10 gigabytes of memory. Now we don't longer see these stuffs again. What happened? Okay, yes, you can still have flash drives or hard drives moving around, but technically or ideally you should not be moving around with this. Now, before I move into the technology, I just want to emphasize on, or maybe elaborate on, what are the disadvantages of using this. Having something on a floppy disk or a flash drive or a hard drive, yeah, it was still good, but it was susceptible to damage or maybe theft. Someone could steal your flash drive, or someone could steal your hard drive, and anything you had in there is gone. And the purpose of these devices were to replicate your data, right? Let's say you had your data in your computer and you want a second safe place for your data files. Then you use a flash drive or use a hard drive. But we later saw that these things could get damaged. It could be stolen by someone, so it wasn't really the best way to save to safeguard your files or whatever you want to save. Now, for most of you now, okay, there is something now. Let's say you have your mobile phone, and when you take pictures, you don't really need to say you want to save those pictures in, let's say, in your computer. Now you for Google, for example, if you have a Gmail account, you now have, if I'm not mistaken, I think when you have a Google account, you have like 5 GB to store your, so you have your Google pictures. You could store your pictures directly Google, right? So you don't really need, as soon as you just sign in into your Google account, as you're taking your pictures, it has been saved on somewhere in Google, right? For those using Apple, definitely, or using an iPhone, there is also you have a space in the cloud, right? I'm already using the term. So nowadays, instead of using the normal flash drive to maybe store our pictures, now with our mobile phones, as soon as we take pictures or videos or whatever, they automatically store somewhere that you don't care, or is that Google is the one handling it, right? Same thing. Now, if you have, let's say, your computer, and you have you're connected to a certain technology, or you have installed, let's say for Microsoft, you have something called the OneDrive. Okay, you have the OneDrive installed on your laptop. All your files are automatically, so you have a computer, then you have the OneDrive. So all your files in your computer are automatically synchronized into your OneDrive. You don't need to think about where a thing is, or you're scared that someone can steal your OneDrive or someone can steal your Google Drive. That will never happen. So these technologies is what is actually helping us to get more storage at a very cheaper rate, right? So, for example, just having a Google Drive, you don't pay for it. You're able to have 5 gigabytes of memory where you can store your pictures. For OneDrive, yes, I think also for Outlook, if you have an Outlook account, okay, and it's from Microsoft, if I'm not mistaken, you also get 5 gigabytes of memory to store stuff onto OneDrive. But the thing is, with just an Outlook of 5 gigabytes, normally you cannot store everything on your laptop in the 5 gigabyte. You need more space, right? So you can buy more space either on Google, or you can buy more space on OneDrive. So this from Google, this from OneDrive. If you're using a Mac, they have something else. So this technology that you store something somewhere that you don't care, is what is called the cloud technology. So the cloud technology is the same thing. When I talk about cloud technology, so what is happening is, yes, it is actually in the cloud. So you could think of it like something in the cloud where you have, let's say, this is your laptop, or you have a mobile phone, you know, you have a mobile phone, and now everything you have is stored somewhere. And this is the cloud technology. So with this now, you don't really have to think of where, like, really try to replicate anything that is stored on your laptop or on your mobile device. Anything you do is automatically synchronized into the cloud technology. So if you have the OneDrive or the Google Drive, everything is saved somewhere, which means that I can be on my laptop and I have something. As soon as I save something on my laptop, it goes to the cloud, and immediately I can see on my phone. And the reverse is true. So with this cloud technology, now you can buy space at a very at very affordable rate. Before, I remember when flash drive and other things came out, it was very expensive to be on a simple flash drive. But now we just about I think I pay €2 a month to have, if I'm not mistaken, to have 100 gigabytes of memory in the cloud. That is really a lot. But this is €2, €2, yeah, €2 per month, right? To have 5 gigabytes of memory, to have 100 gigabytes of memory. Now, so we have seen that with this cloud technology now, you can guarantee yourself so much space that you don't need to worry about buying or having some hardcore devices to store your stuff. Also, with this cloud technology, it has given us the ability now, or maybe you as an individual, you can go online and buy so much space for your device, or maybe processing power too. Now, for those who actually do, let's say you're running analysis, or maybe you want to do something. Let's say you bought a laptop. Let me continue to use this. You have a laptop that has was quite good, maybe 500 gigabytes of hard drive, and maybe the RAM currently is like 8 gigabytes. So 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, this is quite a good laptop. But now you want to run an analysis, or you want to do something that really needs maybe you to have. I'm going to keep the size. Space is no longer a problem. But let's say you want to run analysis and you need fast processing speed. So you need to get maybe 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, before, you will probably think of what's the tendency. You might want to ask a friend, do you have a laptop that has 6 gigabytes of RAM? I do have a data or something I want to run that needs a higher processing speed. Okay. If you're fortunate, yes, you can get a friend. If not, what's the next thing in mind? You probably want to buy a new laptop just for that single task, which technically, if it's something you're going to do often, then yeah, it's something good to do. But if just a one-off tax, then it makes no sense for you to go buy a new laptop that has 16 gigabyte because you want to run one single task that needs that fast speed. So now with the cloud technology, we now have the possibility of going to the cloud and say, go to the cloud and rent. This is a keyword. You can rent a computer. You can rent a computer without physically going to a shop to rent. So when we talk about rent, it's like, before, let's say you wanted to use the 16 gigabytes of memory, the tendency is you might also go to a shop and say, guys, I want to rent your laptop for maybe 1 or 2 days and run analysis, and then I'll return it when I'm done. But that is another possibility. But what if you are in a society or in a community where you don't have the possibility to rent? It's either you buy or you don't. Then that is a limitation, right? But now with the cloud technology, you don't need a local vendor to rent you something. You can just go onto the cloud and say, guys, I need you to rent me a laptop or a computer that has these specifications. You specify it, and they will actually give you a laptop that you can now run your analysis. Before I move on, I really want to emphasize that when I say rent a computer in the cloud, it's not like they'll give you a physical laptop. No, you will just rent an image of a laptop. So what you're renting is an image that has the specifications. Now, I've been talking about the cloud. Let's understand what actually is the cloud. So when I say the cloud is like having a cloud, some like really in the cloud, technically it is not in the cloud. So what has happened is big companies, big IT companies such as Microsoft, I think Google has now as well. You have AWS or Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services. I'm not going, yeah, Web Services, or people know it as AWS. What they have done is, since they have the budget for it, they have created what is called data centers. What is called data centers. So data centers are just physical locations, so where they have large servers. So these are, for example, servers. If you don't know what is a server, so a server is another type of computer with really much space, and so you could have almost, probably, I cannot even say like 1 trillion of space, of gigabyte of space. I cannot say it, like so much space. And also the RAM is very, very it's also very, very big. So this is what is, so this, each of them are called servers, and a group of servers in a physical location is what is called a data center. So they can go to like the US or somewhere in Europe or whatever, and in the physical location have these data centers with so many servers. So what is happening is they can decide to take these servers and split these servers with a software. Okay, when they split the servers into softwares with using a software, so each of this space becomes a virtual machine. It becomes a virtual machine. And so with these servers, with these data centers and the servers, they can replicate probably thousands upon thousands of virtual machines. A virtual machine is just like your normal laptop with its own operating system. Okay, one virtual machine, so VM1 can have, let's say, VM1 can have, let's say, 500 gigabytes of hard drive and maybe 8 gigabytes of RAM. VM2 can have 1000 gigabytes and maybe 16 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, so this most more like these tiny spaces you can see, these are virtual machines. It's not like they will create these virtual machines and already keep and say, yeah, you can. But when you go online, I'm going to show you how that is being done. When you go online, you can request that, okay, I need a virtual machine of this size. They will do their magic behind the scene, and it's going to come to your servers and actually provide you with a virtual computer that has this specification. And with this now, you can now connect to that virtual machine online, and you're able to run your analysis. And when you're done, you shut down the virtual machine. So what's the nice thing about this? You only pay for the time spent. So this is being paid. So it's pay as you go service. So pay as you go, or pay as use, something like that. So if, for example, they can tell you for 1 minute to use this laptop is going to cost you maybe €2. No, €2 is just too much. 0.02 euros, for example. Or they could say for 1 month to use this, it can cost you €20. So technically, you see that this is a more cost-effective strategy of getting the same thing. Imagine you were to buy such a laptop with these specifications. I have no doubt it would maybe be above maybe €500. Okay, and what if you just bought this thing for a one-off task? So buying this thing for a one-off task is not cost effective, because maybe after that you're underutilizing the laptop or the computer. Maybe you're not using it just to be typing emails or doing something that is not even, you could do it with a less with a less with a laptop with less specifications. So rather than buying a new laptop, you can actually keep your laptop and you go to the cloud and say you want to rent a computer or a virtual machine which with this space, with at the end of the month, even less, maybe you just want to use for 2 days, you clearly see that you'll not even spend up to €20. And as soon as you're done, you just say, okay, I don't need this anymore, and I'm good to go. So this is what has actually skyrocketed the artificial intelligence or generative AI, because generative AI, before these guys were able to train such powerful models, they needed machines of this type of specifications or even more. They could really need machines like virtual machines, maybe like maybe 2000 gigabytes of RAM of memory space, and maybe 100 gigabytes of memory. And you don't expect individuals to have such computers, right? So what they have done is, with the presence of this cloud technology, people that are doing generative AI, they were able to rent such computers without really having them physically. They will go to big organizations like Microsoft, AWS, and other guys that are providing such a service and request for these virtual machines without actually buying them. So basically, that is cloud technology. Just to make you understand again, so cloud technology is, with the presence of cloud technology, you have your computer, you can have your phone, for example. This is a phone and also a tablet. This is all your stores, right? So here you have the cloud. So for example, if I store a file, so here I have my OneDrive. it's the software you install on your phone. Same here, you have your OneDrive, and same here, you have your OneDrive. If I install a file, let's say I create a new Word document called, I was doing something, let's say I've recorded this video, right, which is called Cloud Video 1. Okay, I'm currently using my laptop to create this video, and I want to see this video in all my other devices, rather than me manually transferring them from my laptop to my mobile phone or to my so this is my computer, this is my phone, and my tablet. Instead of manually transferring it, I don't need to do that. Since I already have OneDrive installed, it automatically synchronizes into the cloud. Okay, and my OneDrive is being controlled. Let's say this is the Microsoft cloud. It's being controlled by Microsoft. I don't care what they are doing in there, but I know it's being synchronized into it's synchronized into the cloud technology, and with the presence of OneDrive, I'm able to have them also present in across my devices. Same thing, I can come to my tablet and I do the changes. It's a two-way street, so it would definitely do that as well. So this one goes like that. So it's a two-way synchronization. So that's the beauty about cloud technology. First of all, cloud technology helps you in terms of storage. Maybe you are an individual, you should be thinking of cloud technology as something that you can do for storage. But also, if you're running analysis, let's say tomorrow you become an AI and data analyst, you might need space. You might need space or a good laptop or a good virtual machine or something in order to run sophisticated analysis. You don't need to buy a new laptop. What you can go is you can request a virtual machine online with a virtual machine with higher specifications, and with just a browser. So with your browser, you can access this virtual machine online. It's not like you're renting a physical machine, but from your browser you can type the name of the machine and you access the machine online, and you get into the machine using the cloud in the cloud, and you run the analysis, and as soon as you're done, you shut down. So basically, that is a new architecture, IT architecture now that most organizations are using as well. You rarely see that organizations have maybe their databases, or they have their, and like most of them, yeah, some still have data that are stored locally, but most organizations now, rather than you thinking of let's say thinking of space, thinking of security, you just push everything to the cloud, and you know that Microsoft is doing the job for you while you're sleeping. You don't have to think of security. So that's why you see the databases are all in the cloud. A lot of things are happening in the cloud. You can run analysis in the cloud. You run machine learning algorithms in the cloud. There's a lot you can do in the cloud. For you that are also using Power BI, you know that Power BI, you have three versions. You have the Power BI desktop, so it's the one you use on your computer, and the Power BI service is in the cloud. So in the cloud, you can now share your Power BI dashboard with others. So basically, now the world is happening in the cloud. The fact that you are able to watch me or watch this video on YouTube is happening in the cloud. The fact that you are able to attend a virtual meeting, or being on the Microsoft, let's say, Zoom call, is happening in the cloud. So the cloud technology, it's something you need to understand, because everyone is using in the IT space now, in AI and data. They are all talking about the cloud. So there are a lot of stuff happening in the cloud, which you need to know. So this is a very fundamental concept you need to understand. I've just scratched the surface of cloud technology, but I hope this is going to help you to understand that now nothing is happening locally. Majority of what is happening in the cloud, and big organizations such as Microsoft, AWS, Google, they have these data centers somewhere, which is not your business. You don't have to care about that, but you can connect to that data center and actually rent something from the cloud. So I'm going to move to my laptop, and I show you how you can go online and maybe get more space, or maybe rent a virtual machine. Just understand it's another computer, but you cannot touch it physically. That's why it's called a virtual machine, and you can do something with it. Okay, so as I mentioned, for the cloud technology, you yourself you can't own a cloud technology. So big guns like Microsoft, AWS, and Google, just to name a few, do have this technology. And what I'm illustrating now is that of Microsoft. It's called Microsoft Azure. So with this now, I've logged in into my account. You can clearly see it right hand side. I'm logged into my account. It's free. You can go online as well. Just Google Microsoft Azure, and you want to create an account. You can create an account, and I believe if you can start with, is it $100? Maybe for students you can have more. It's been a long time. I went as I logged in as a student. So make sure you check it out. Or maybe at the end of this video description, I can send you the link so that you can create your account. Now, so this is Microsoft Azure. Let's say, okay, I'm just going to show it around. The goal is not for me to get too technical, but remember, I said there's quite a lot you can do. For those of you who have a little bit of technical background, okay, you can maybe create a database, or let's say on your laptop, you can do a lot on your laptop, but you yourself, you have to manage those things. But with the cloud technology, one of the advantages, I can just go online and I create something, and my responsibility is just to focus on the me creating value, not thinking of security, not thinking of virus, antivirus, not thinking of all those things. Microsoft will handle those things for me. Okay, so this is the platform, Microsoft Azure. You clearly see you can create a resource. A resource can be anything. It could be a virtual machine. It could be a database. It could be something, right? So you can see these are some of the resources I already have based on what I'm doing. This is the space of Graffiland. So maybe we can look at some of the resources. So you see, there are so many types of resources you can check. You can have. Let's just go to the possible types of resources. So, anyways, these are my resources. Maybe I'll say I want to create a resource. So you see, the resources are grouped according to maybe something you want to do. In my explanation, as in the video explanation, I was talking about virtual machine. So a virtual machine is just like it's just like a normal machine, okay? But the thing is, you have to access it online. Okay, so you have a virtual machine. You could create a web app for those who are technical, or maybe you're not technical, but you're in a team where they talk about all of these technicalities. That is why it's good for you to understand this basic concept, because you might work in a team where they'll be talking about things that are doing the cloud. So you have to understand these basic things, right? So you see, for example, a database. Maybe I'm going to give you a lecture on databases, but you can actually create a database. So I have one actually running. I'm going to maybe use that as an example. There's quite a lot you can do. For example, you can actually just go online and you get a machine with Windows 11 Pro already installed. You don't need to buy a new laptop and buy the license of Windows 11. I can go online. Maybe something I want to do requires me to have Windows 11 Pro, or maybe there's a specific software that you want to use, but your current operating system is not able to withstand, it's not up to the requirements of that software. You can go online, you run a virtual machine, you install the necessary basic softwares you need, and yeah, you go ahead and use it. So this is, just a group of, I think this is the most recent ones, or recently created ones. So you can clearly see these are resources. Some are more advanced. You might not even need them, but I'm just trying to explain to you that, you can actually do quite a lot with just this, with going online and creating an account in. So I have a virtual machine. You could also maybe think of storage. So if you go to storage, this is something common too, right? For storage, Azure Blob Storage, if you want to create, just to have a space online to maybe back up something, you can come online and really just request an Azure Blob Storage. But if your purpose of coming to Microsoft Azure just to have a storage account, then I will advise you to go to Microsoft OneDrive. With OneDrive, there's a lot you can do. You don't need to have a Microsoft Azure account. Just go and say you want OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, and they'll give you the prices. I'm also going to provide the link in the video description. So depending on what you want, you see this is quite categorized or grouped based on that. Also, AI and machine learning. Let's say you want to get involved in AI and machine learning. So you see there are various these are types of services, right? You could, if you want to create an app that does translator, there's no need for you to go start training your own model. Microsoft already has this service running. You can, if you're good enough in programming, you can incorporate this into your app. Same thing. You have speech services, you have Q&A, and so many things. Okay. Now let's say I'm online and I want to get a virtual machine. For some reason, I want to do something. I want uh, to run analysis. I don't know what I want to do. Just think of that. So normally you can go and create a virtual machine. So for me to create a virtual machine, I can search for virtual machine. So there you go. So these are already these are some of the some people also have virtual machines already created for specific purposes, and they have done all the settings for you. You can actually come and get it, but I want us to get a simple one. So it's plain, so we'll go to like a virtual machine. This is the process of creating it. This is going to be another topic, but just for you to understand that normally the account that I have is called a subscription. So you need to have a subscription. Then a resource group is just like you want to envelope everything you're doing for a particular purpose in a specific group. So let's just assume that I want to put that I want to create that virtual machine and put in my AI resource group. You can actually create a new one. I can give it a new name. I can give it a new name. It could be um, virtual machine data analysis 0.002, because that is the name I want to give for my virtual machine. Now the region, this is very important. The fact that I'm based in Europe, okay, I want to select a virtual machine that is close to me. Remember, I said these data centers, they are found all over the world. So Microsoft has physical locations for these data centers. It could be here in Europe. There's one in Germany. There is one in Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, and they are thinking of actually constructing one in Belgium. So you need to get something that's closer to you, right? So you see, I can be here, for example, and I launch a virtual machine in the US. Let's say you want to create a website and your target customers are in the US, but you are based somewhere in Africa. You need to create a virtual machine or host your website close to your audience or close to your target market, right? You don't want someone to search for your app or something, and the person is in the US and you hosted the thing in Europe. Yeah, we know the internet is fast, but you want the traffic to be close to the person as much as possible. But for the fact that this is my personal laptop or virtual machine I want to use something close to me, right? That's why West Europe is ideal for me, because Belgium is in West Europe. If you're in Africa, you can check. There are other places you see. There is South Africa North. I think in Africa, there's just quite a few of them. So based on your location, you can go online and check, or just look uh, in the list which one is closer to you. So I have that. Then I have availability options. This is something deep. There's a whole course on cloud technology called Microsoft Azure. You can have a certification on it. You need to understand these terminologies. I'm not going to go deep into this, but just know that availability zone is like you want to make it, because for some reason, if I'm launching in Netherlands, if I'm launching in Belgium, I'm hosting in Belgium, I want my resource to also be backed up maybe in a closer region, let's say in the no, in Germany. So you can decide availability zone. Anyways, I'm not going to go into details of that. That then now this is where it comes. I really want to talk about this. You see, what type of image do you want? Do you want, for those who are technical, Ubuntu, you have Windows, you can have, for example, let's say we want to go in for Windows 11, right? So I can decide to take Windows 11. This is quite a recent one. Then this is where I was talking about the various spaces, right? So let's view all the sizes. So if you're using, this is the VM size, this is the general purpose. So CPUs talks about the speed, right? So you have two CPUs, a RAM of 3.5 gigabytes, data six, there are four of them, local storage, blah blah blah. And this is where your eye should be on this last column, cost per month. So let's say, for example, you want to get this, for example, this D8 V3 is a general purpose machine. It has eight CPUs. It has a RAM of 32 gigabytes and a disk data disk. I don't know about, but what is important is the local storage. I think it's 64. But you see, it was going to cost you 327 blah 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 euros per month. Now, you need to check this out because maybe getting a laptop, a physical laptop with these specifications might be cost effective for you. It all depends on your use case. But there are several advantages. When I launch this thing, I don't care. I don't have to install anything. I don't have to buy a license. I don't have to do anything. I just have to get the laptop and I get myself running. Okay. So you have to really do your cost analysis to know which one is best. But if you just want to do a general purpose example, for example, this will cost you 46 euros per month. So maybe this is just enough. Maybe you have a laptop that is just it's not up to this, or maybe let's take something that is close to 100. This maybe your laptop has 4 gigabytes of RAM, but this has 7 gigabytes of RAM and two CPUs. So you can just pay closely 100 euros and you use it for a month, and when you're done, you drop it. Okay. So this is what I really wanted to show you, because this is why artificial intelligence is now it's possible, because people can go online and run these machines and actually run those advanced algorithms, because to have your laptop cannot withstand running those machine learning models, for especially for generative AI, because they need your laptop to be constantly on. Nothing should happen. There should be no interruption in anything. But going online and renting something like this, you can actually be sure that as soon as you launch a training machine learning model or whatever you're doing, you're sure that Microsoft will definitely do everything to make sure your thing is always running. You don't have to bother about those things. So basically, this is what I really wanted to show you, but maybe I'm just going to go into my own space and show you, for example, some basic things I'm running. Maybe a good one is a database. Normally I was supposed to have this database on my laptop, but the fact that I've hosted this database online, this is a database local server. These are my databases. And now I don't need to share. I can actually ask someone, if someone is working with me. I don't need to request you to create a whole database on your local machine, but I have this in the cloud. So whenever I have changes, you are also connected to that same database. We all get the same data. We all get the same changes, right? So, but the fact that this is on the cloud, it doesn't mean anyone can access. Normally, I'm supposed to give you security rights in order to access my database. So this is just that good example of everything being in the cloud. And I also mentioned the basic one is having the cloud, having a OneDrive. That's the basic. So if you're still having disks and flash drives moving around, I really recommend that you switch to going to the cloud, because with the cloud you're sure that your data will always be there. Even if your laptop is stolen, as soon as you sign in into your account, you have everything back fresh and in the right condition. So, guys, this is a very good technology. I'm going to provide you more resources about cloud, Microsoft Azure. If you want to go deep into this, it's actually a certification, and it's a very good certification to have if you want to move into the space of AI and data, because every company today is somehow using the cloud technology. It must not be from Microsoft. It can be from AWS, it can be from Google, it can be from IBM, or they have their own private cloud. Okay, guys. So summary, artificial intelligence, yes, it's booming right now, especially generative AI. And not that generative AI is just part of artificial intelligence. There's so much under artificial intelligence. And the reason why generative AI is a bustling word now, and it's making so much and it's having so much strife, is because of the presence of cloud technology. Now it is cheaper for us to get cloud storage. It is cheaper for us to have more processing speed. It is cheaper for us to access these things, which before you needed huge capital in order to access. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer them. And if there's something that is not clear as well, drop it in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Nice day.